Hello, I'm Jake, Mr. Jake, and I'd like to recommend a movie. Remember 13 Assassins from the last episode of my show? It turns out that there's a sequel. It's in the theaters right now, and it is called The Wolverine. The simplest way to describe The Wolverine is that it is a very good movie, but a shitty sequel to 13 Assassins. It's no wonder really, because 13 Assassins didn't need a sequel to begin with. But there are just so many problems with continuity, it's baffling. If you've not seen my review of 13 Assassins, we are talking about a movie taking place in Shogun-era Japan, centered around a group of assassins hired to kill the Emperor's sadistic brother, featuring a phenomenal bloodbath that lasts about 1 hour. Now, The Wolverine is very different. It takes place in the present day, it's got mutants in it for no reason, and worst of all, it's PG rated. Now, if you've seen the original 13 Assassins, you know for a fact that there is no way in hell to make a proper sequel to it with a PG rating. So the story is that there's this guy called the Wolverine with metal claws coming out of his fists. Now that's pretty cool, but it's never explained how he does it. But that's okay, I can live with that. A little mystery never hurts in a movie. So there's this guy, and he goes to Japan to say goodbye to this dying Japanese guy whose life he saved back in 1945, when the American government was conducting illegal weapons tests in Japan. And then bad things start to happen, people start dying, and in general, chaos ensues. And the guy sees his dead girlfriend every 15 minutes or so, which is pretty weird. In case you're wondering, no, I'm not going to show you any footage from the trailer. I'll be using screenshots only. Why? Because I'd like to discourage all of you from watching the trailer. This is a very simple, straightforward movie with easily predictable plot twists. If you see the trailer before watching the movie, you will be able to see every last one of them coming a mile away. Except if you're 5 years old. But if you're 5 years old, you're not allowed to watch this movie. Don't worry, your time will come. So stay as far away from the trailer as possible if you don't want to ruin your experience. Now, let's talk about the flaws this movie has. The biggest problem with The Wolverine is that this movie should have been rated R. Think about it. We're talking about a movie with samurai swords. Those things were made for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to separate heads and the limbs from the human body. That's a quote from the movie, by the way. So, if you make this PG, that means you can't show any of the good stuff. Where are all the glorious decapitations and dismemberments in this movie? Huh? In the bin in the editing room, that's where, and that's bullshit. Furthermore, this is a movie about a guy with metal claws coming out of his fists. Again, this guy was purpose-built for killing people violently, and yet we never get to see him do any of that shit. Okay, we do get to see him participate in a number of cool, fun action sequences, such as the one on the top of the train, or when he fights the giant robot samurai. Oh yeah, that one was pretty cool, but there's never any blood. Seriously, why? It's not authentic. The other thing I didn't like was that this blonde mutant that called herself the Viper was hardly in the movie. She's pretty much the main villain in this thing. Well, not exactly, but close. Yet she's barely there. We hardly learn anything about her. And she had these cool abilities. It's a shame she wasn't utilized more. But to be fair, there were plenty of other characters that needed screen time. Like that black archer on the rooftop. A guy with a black bow and black arrows and flawless accuracy. I liked him. He was the best character in the movie. By far. As for the cinematography, it was okay. As I said, there were some pretty cool action sequences in it. There was a fight between that Wolverine guy and a Japanese businessman dressed in a samurai outfit and armed with 2 swords. That was pretty cool. The black archer shooting Yakuza after Yakuza in the back was also pretty cool. And then there's the aforementioned giant robot samurai. This movie has a giant robot samurai. That's pretty cool. But still, despite the coolness factor of all these things, I can't ignore the sour taste left in my mouth by the fact that this sequel just cannot live up to the legacy of the original film 13 Assassins. Seriously, why did this have to be PG? So to summarize, 13 Assassins 2 The Wolverine is quite possibly the worst sequel that I have ever seen. It does not measure up to the original movie in any way. But it's fun. It's simple, mindless fun. Highly recommended. So go watch this movie right now. Just bear in mind that no matter how much fun it is, no matter how good it is, no matter how well acted it is, no matter how entertaining it is, no matter how much fun you will have while watching it, it is still a shitty sequel to 13 Assassins. And there's also some weird shit happening after the credits. There's some guy in a wheelchair and some other guy that looks like Richard III. I don't know what that was about. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to expand it into a trilogy. Huh. In that case, I hope they're going to bring Shin-Zaman back from the original movie. Shin-Zaman versus the Wolverine. Now that would be pretty cool.